All right, we good, Ben?
I'm ready.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ocean Township. Good to see all you ladies here. How you doing, girls? Good? You're here for a special meeting, too, right? Yeah, I heard you guys had a great season. You helped cheer on some very important guys this year, right? Yeah. If it weren't for you, the 12th man, they wouldn't have done as well as they did, right? Yeah. That's right. You encouraged them, and you guys were really supportive. So we're going to come down a little bit, and we're going to acknowledge you for that and ask you some questions, okay? Okay. So anyway, welcome to the meeting of January 25th, 2018. Then will you call the meeting to order?
For Deputy Mayor Chair.
Here.
Council Members Long.
Here.
Napolitani.
Here.
Shephaka.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here. So everybody please rise. We're going to do a pledge of allegiance. And then I'm going to ask you to remain standing for a moment of silent prayer right after, okay? So stay standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then just please... Okay, thank you. We're just going to get through some procedures, ladies, and we'll come right down to you. So the notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk on December 28th, 2017. There are two fire exits, so one to my right, and that'll take you out to the front parking lot. Then there's one in the back of the room to my left, and that'll take you down the hall and also out to the parking lot. If you have a cell phone, you can turn the volume off. You can keep it on for pictures if you want. If you need to make a phone call, though, we kindly ask that you go out into the hallway and do that, okay? So tonight we have two special occasions here. We have the U11 girls team, right? AAF football, right? In my day, it used to be called Pop Warner. Now they changed it to something else, which is good. It's all good. And then we also have a special proclamation for a very special employee, which we're going to get to also. Before we come down, I'm just going to ask our councilmen members if they have any reports for us. This will take 5 minutes, and we're going to come down there. So, Councilman Napolitani, do you have anything for us tonight?
It'll take 5 minutes till you get to Rob. Now, I want to thank Vinny for coming out to a meeting at Cedar Village the other night with me. I think it was a very productive meeting with the group that was out there. So, again, Vinny, I appreciate you coming out there and spending time.
That's it. Before I even go to Don, I just also want to just say we welcome back our Deputy Mayor, Robert Chera, who had suffered a sudden and recent loss on a family member last week. And so, Rob, we're glad to see you back. Condolences and a heartfelt condolence from the entire township and everybody up here today. We're with you and the family and the Vic's family as well. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Don, I'm sorry. Donna?
I have nothing tonight.
Okay. Rich?
Just to echo what the mayor said, to extend our condolences to Rob and his family and the family of his brother Vic. Very sudden and very sad death, and we're all mourning that loss. Other than that, that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate all the support during the hard times. On a business note, I'll get back to that. Planning board meeting was canceled this week. We did not have one. But again, thank you to the community, and it really shows you how many people knew him and reached out and for support and funding and everything else. So thank you all. Thank you on television. I appreciate it.
Good. Thank you, Rob. Mike?
Nothing this evening.
Okay. Marty?
Nothing, just to share in those condolences and words to Rob.
Great. Okay, so without any further ado, we're going to come down from the dais. Get my glasses, my microphone.
Let me turn it on. There you go.
Test. Okay. We have to make sure. So this is great. We love doing this. We love acknowledging the kids, and they're overachievers, and of course the ladies out there cheering on the team all year long. A lot of work, right? A lot of dedication to moms, dragging them to practice and bringing them over and dealing with all the drama that goes with it. We get it, but I'm sure it was an exhausting season for everybody, but it worked out pretty good. Guys had a great run, and you had an extended season because I think they went 3 games into the playoffs this year, right? And the girls travel with them as well. So I'm going to call up the coaches, and if they can come on up here, and then we'll bring the kids up one at a time. So we have Coach Vacchiano and Coach Canavan. Are you here? Ladies, please come on up. And we have, you have any other coaches with you tonight? Come in the middle, coaches. Okay, our demos can come up as well, ladies. These are our helpers. Come on in the middle, ladies. Because I'm going to let you do a little of the microphone work. Is that okay? Who likes the microphone better than Johnny Napolitani? Who? No, not even close, brother. Not even. I do like it a lot. But so okay, who do we have? Amanda?
Nope, I'm Jen.
You're Jen. You're Amanda. Okay, but you're closest, so we're gonna have you do a little talking. So Amanda, you know, we all played Pop Warner here, so we know what it's like and everything. But on the other side, so you guys are managing a nice field of ladies here and getting them organized and bringing them to practices and getting them to do the cheers and all that. I just got to say on a side note with the guys, what we used to love the best was whoever had our name. We would listen for that. Even if it was in the middle of a play, we listened. Are you kidding me? Right, Marty? It didn't matter. I got to say, why'd that ball hit in the head? She just called my name. Hell yeah, we listened. It was great. So, okay. Tell us a little bit about the season and what you had to do with these girls to get them to pay attention and do such a great job.
Oh boy, Amanda.
Oh, me? Okay. We actually, I honestly, we had a really great group of girls. Respectful, great to each other, dedicated. We didn't have, well, I say we didn't have to do a lot. The demos were also extremely helpful, but the girls were respectful. They listened to them and they were very easy to wrangle, I should say. They
Tell us what demos are. I don't know.
Demos,
Oh, demos.
demonstrators. So they're high school helpers that help out former cheerleaders. Yes, sorry. So they were around for all the games and practices. They basically run most of the practices. Yeah, they were very helpful.
So, that being said, demos, I'm going to turn it to you for a second. So, of course, you girls went through the program before yourself, right? Introduce yourselves, lady.
Hi, I'm Victoria Bahari.
Wave to the camera, you're on TV. All right, Victoria.
And I'm Mia Canavan.
Okay, Mia. Why does that name sound familiar? Daughter? Oh, great. So that's great that you ladies signed up and you stuck around to help as demos. That's wonderful because then you can teach the younger ladies pretty much what you went through and how to do the cheers and all. Anything new that you taught them?
We taught them some of our high school cheers, actually. And we were very surprised because they caught on so quickly.
I mean, yeah, we didn't really teach them any new things, but we did teach them their halftime dance, which they really liked because it was to Descendants. So they loved that.
I think we're going to get a cheer before it's over. I have a feeling, right? That's coming? Oh, that's great. Well, that's great. So, a lot of work, though, right? Right, ladies, between like getting them over here and a lot of participation from the moms. So, let's hear for the parents because we know you're a big part of this. You got to give your moms and dads their due because, listen, it's a lot of work getting everybody here. So, I'm going to turn it over to you guys at this time to call the names out because 9 out of 10 times I just don't get them right. So, yeah, so let's hand down these. We have something for you coaches as well. Amanda. Little something for you. Okay, it's a little that's us recognizing your hard work and the efforts here and keeping the team together, and especially on the cheering side. It's wonderful. And then Jen, we have something for you as well. Also, and I think we have something for our demos, right? Demos for teaching them your new high school cheers and also their halftime stuff. Wonderful. And Victoria. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for you. Let's hear it for these young ladies. Okay, Jen, or whoever wants to call out the names.
Okay, we'll alternate. The parents and the girls sat through a lot of interesting weather this season too. So we had a lot of games where we had to go out and buy ponchos for everyone. So and the parents didn't get ponchos. So dedication from both the girls and their families as well.
They toughed it out.
They sure did.
Okay, here we go.
Nola Vacchiano.
Come on up, Nola. And ask the girls to stay up here. We're going to do a group shot here. Yeah. They can all line up in front of Deputy Mayor Chera and not block him out of the picture here.
Thelma Sharkey.
Thelma, come on up. Congratulations. Good job. Yes, honey? Sure.
I just want to thank Bella and everybody here today. Thank you for helping me. Mommy and Mama, I love you. Just so you know. The cheerleader girls, you were great. Keep up the good work. Bella, do whatever you have to do and be good. And thank you.
All right, listen. All right, we've got to go to a commercial. No, got to pay the bill. Hey, wonderful. Where was this kid before? Johnny, you're off the bench. We got a new. That's it. You're done. Good job, sweetheart. Thank you. All right, got Coach. Back to Coach.
Diana Sharkey.
You're welcome. Yeah, anybody wants, sweetie.
Delaney Ross. Oh, she's not here tonight.
You'll take this with you. Put them over here.
Yep.
Okay, you might have some absentees.
Anna Ponieros.
Congratulations, sweetie. Okay.
Carla Ocasio.
Thank you.
Just in case.
I won't want to say it wrong.
No.
Anila Miller.
Nice.
Anila, sorry. Okay.
Good job, sweetie. Right here. We'll start this side, okay? Yeah. Then we're going to stay up for a group shot, ladies, okay?
No,
Mary Lunger, but she's not here.
Okay, you'll take Mary's. Let's hear it for Mary. For her participation.
Charlie's not here.
Oh, Charlotte Kosnick, but she's not
All
here.
right, let's hear it for Charlotte.
Demia Sanders.
No, Maya.
Demaya. I'm so bad at this.
Good job,
I'm bad
sweetie.
at this.
That's why I have you.
Samantha Jacobson.
Good job, Sam.
Lila Irwin.
Great job. Good job. Nathalic.
Natalie.
Okay.
I'm just going to say Natalie.
Natalie. Good job, Natalie.
Chloe Foster.
Chloe.
Gracie Flanagan.
Gracie. Good job.
Bella Ferry.
Nice fella. Gianna, this one.
Gianna Canavan.
They can come to work, huh? You put your time in, might as well, huh?
Amore, and she's not here either.
Okay, you'll take Amori's?
We'll take Amore.
So that's everybody, Coach? We got them all? Great. Well, great season, ladies. We're going to do a quick picture here. But before we do a picture, do we have one cheer for TV? Can we do one? Yeah, you have one? All right. Pick a good one.
Can I make a request?
Which one, Marty?
Siciliano,
No.
he's our man. If he can't do it.
You want to do What's My Name? We don't have any music, though. Come on now. Coach's favorite.
Who's going to call it?
Okay, ready? Which one are we doing, sweetie? Put them right down and put them on the chair. Yep. Yes.
Nobody got hurt.
Which one is it?
100.
100 it is. Nice. Check that out. Woo! Unbelievable. I can't believe it. All right, squeeze it in. Let's get a photo. We're going to put you not only on TV, you're on newspaper too. We go all out for you. It is? Yeah, taller girls away from Deputy Mayor Achura.
Excuse me, do your cheer one more time.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on, we'll like it.
Yes. He wants an action shot, that's why. Hey! Woo! All right, we need a group shot. Stay up here, ladies. Moms want to take a group shot, right? All right. Come on up. Great job. Got him? All right, congratulations again. Let's hear it for the coaches, moms, and the kids. Wonderful. Thank you, Coach. Oh, our pleasure. We enjoy it. Good job. Thank you. What, honey?
Everybody, I'm really happy.
Oh, we're happy for you, too. Okay, so at this time, we have another very special proclamation we have to hand out to a very special person. So before I call that very special person up, I'm going to ask our clerk, Vinny, to come on down from the dais. Come on down, Vin. This. Where's my little cheat sheet? Oh, Vinny has my cheat sheet. So, you have it. So, I'm going to turn this over to... Come over here, Vin. In the middle. You get the microphone. You get the spotlight. All right. So, this is the Internal Institute of Municipal Clerks. And I just want to I'll throw a couple numbers at you, then I'm going to give it to Vinny. This certification here, only 93 out of the 565 clerks in New Jersey have attained this. And we have 280 certified municipal clerks right in this region alone. So that's an honor unto itself. This is from Jesse Joseph. But I'm going to turn it over to Vinny. He's going to give us a little rundown on what we're doing here and how great this really is.
Really is. Before I do that, I've been kind of holding my comments. For those who come to our meetings regularly, you know last year I had the distinct privilege and honor to serve as president of this International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And I was one of 7 New Jersey clerks in the history of this organization to serve as its president, and the first since 2004. This organization's been in existence since 1947. So to say it was an honor would be an understatement. But I couldn't have done it without the help of so many people, none less than the 5 people standing here who gave me the ability to go out and travel and meet the members of the association and promote clerk education worldwide. As you know, we have over 14,500 members worldwide, not only in the United States and Canada, but 14 countries outside North America. So it really is a worldwide organization. And as the mayor said, New Jersey has 93 certified municipal clerks in its midst. So that's counting both town clerks, city clerks, village clerks, and all the deputy clerks. So really that 565 is probably closer to 1,000. So to say that Jesse Joseph is one of 93 out of all the people in the state of New Jersey, pretty impressive.
I'll give it back to you. We sent you out that time like Jefferson sent Lewis and Clark. We just didn't think you were coming back.
My wife was hoping I wouldn't come back, but I actually did show up. I'm like gum. So Jesse, come on up. So we've been waiting a long time. Jessie actually got her certified municipal clerk designation back in October. And I was a little pissed off at her because I wanted to sign her certification papers, but it didn't come through fast enough. So you could take the plastic off.
I want to keep it nice.
Exactly. So as you can see, this is presented to Jesse M. Joseph, CMC, from the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And it's signed by Mary J. Kaiser, president of IIMC. So congratulations. It is very, very well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, lead the cheer, John.
I ain't seen much attitude. I want to see a little attitude.
How about attitude? You earned it. But you got to stay there because I need a picture for the website.
Okay, we'll take one. Stay up.
Our website.
Where's our microphone?
Oh.
Okay, that
I think that's where I work.
Where's my blanket? Good, thank you so much. And everybody who knows Jesse, Very humble. She's not going to toot her own horn, so we have to do it for her. But what she does here for this town is invaluable. Like Vinny said, a lot couldn't function down there without a great deputy clerk here and now a municipal certified clerk. So we're very honored, Jesse. Thank you for your hard work and your years of service to the township as well. A very long time. Yeah, very. Anything you would like to say, Jess?
Just thank you.
Well deserved. Again, a lady with an economy of words and very humble. Very nice. Good. We're honored to do that for you. Okay. With that, we're going to take a short recess.
Going by.
Still working. You want the Latin or you want the English? What do you want? I got them both.
I have a few other ways.
Vinny's at your water?
Mine is here.
This is,
I didn't open mine yet.
Down there.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, we're back in session. A lot of overachievers here in Ocean Township. We're very proud of that too. So, let me get to this part here, and we'll open it up. The purpose of this public portion is to solely ask questions, understand resolutions, and vouchers that appear on the agenda. It is not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on this agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. At this time, if anybody has any questions to the agenda now or resolutions, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. I don't have my pen, but okay. I got it. It should be on, Duck. Rob.
Now it is.
Whoa. Easy.
The button was off.
Thought you were Mr. Long for a moment there. Augmented your voice.
Tonight I'll go formal instead of 007.
Okay.
Dr. Marlon Mellis, Cedar Village. I'm chairman of the Municipal Liaison Committee from Cedar Village to Township Council and to all the governing bodies of Ocean Township. First, I'd like to thank Councilman Napolitani and Vinny for coming down to a meeting on Tuesday. It was very productive, and we look forward to having more meetings with you. Secondly, I'd like to ask that Resolution 18015A be deferred for a future date,
Where's that at?
as it affects Cedar Village,
Oh, got it.
and the Board of Directors of Cedar Village did not have any information about having this come up and to be taken up at a future date.
Okay, so we will accept your request. We'll hold 18015A as the release of a performance guarantee until your board can meet and discuss it. How's that?
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Come on up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Don Geiger, 1108 Grassmere Avenue.
Right.
Just a two-part question, 18021. There's a reason why, I hope you don't mind my using your first name, Mike can't do this task? Is he not qualified or certified or whatever?
I don't have the designation.
Okay. Do you plan on getting the designation?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we can save some money down the road.
Yeah.
And then the other question on that is, now they moved the threshold to 40,000, the quote to 6,000. Does that mean that anything under those amounts does not have to be put out to bid?
Correct.
Correct.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Less vouchers for you to read. Just kidding.
Yeah.
They'll be on the voucher list, that's for sure.
Speaking of that, well, actually, let me get probably the easiest one out of the way, or not. I noticed, and I counted up, there's the lucky 13 cell phone reimbursements of $420, one for $385, one for $300, and one for a measly $210. Is there? I know that $35 per month. Is there any particular reason why these individuals decided to hold off? I mean, pay them now, pay them later.
Yeah, it's a small amount, so the ones of us that send them in do it every 6 months sometimes.
Okay, just curious. Now, number 12 on page 1. What exactly is an air permit? Don't they have air down there? I mean,
Air's not free.
Yeah, I know that. No, what is the
Mike's
air
been
permit?
brushing up. Go to Mike.
I got you on this one.
I got you on this one.
That was for the underground tanks for leak detection tests.
Aha, okay. And,
One for Michello.
yes, well, I've just started.
It's true.
Number 16, we're paying half of Opticom. Now, is that any relationship to the giant robots that defend the Earth, or what? Opticons?
I think that's Decepticons.
Oh, Septicons. Yeah, I
Oh
can't
boy,
get
they knew that. It's
Very
scary.
good.
That's a bonus point.
That's anyway. The Board of Fire Commissioners is the one who's getting almost $2,000. What exactly is that service?
I believe it's a radio service.
Radio, yeah, right. It's communication.
Yeah.
Oh, what about carrier pigeons? No, I should be serious, but then it wouldn't be me. Vince, I'm really disappointed. I mean, how many times have I told you, take a sleeping bag? We're paying for a hotel for some, whatever it is you're going to. Just have to bust you a little bit.
21.
Region 2 hotel. I think that's for more than one day.
It was 3 nights.
Okay. That's a little bit better. But again, getting back to somewhat serious stuff. Number 31. I know what that is. How many people got the certification refresher for EMT?
3.
3 per person. Wow. That's not cheap. And on 56, am I correct in thinking the fire alarm annual inspection was for all the buildings?
Correct.
Boy.
Boom. He's
Whoa.
ready for you.
Boom.
You didn't bring your A game, Don, did you?
Well,
You're not done yet?
I'm just starting this year off. So
Okay. You're going easy. I got the kid gloves on. You got the 16-ounce gloves.
right.
All right.
Okay. Down at Atlantic City, Harrah's, the conference reservations. How many people are going?
3 people, 3 rooms.
Oh, jeez. He must have been really doing his homework. And then, out of curiosity, right underneath that, interesting name, headsets. Com Inc. How many headsets? And I'm guessing that's for the emergency dispatchers type folks.
Yeah, I believe it was 2. I don't have the exact number. So
He's batting 93.5%.
Okay.
Pretty
And
high, though.
number 88, Lanigan Associates, rescue equipment replacement. What was replaced and why?
a throw bag and a rescue torpedo.
Who would know that? Oof.
Oh, why? What was wrong with that torpedo?
I actually think he just made that up.
Who would know that? Mike, we
You
should
might have, I
you.
wouldn't know. And then, also interesting name, 110, MPH Industries. Does that mean though just 2 units cost us a little bit over $3,500?
2 units, 2 antennas, correct.
Man, things aren't cheap these days.
Yeah, what happened to the tinfoil and the rabbit ears, right, Don?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
what the heck?
And on 119, just for your annual membership dues, I take
Yes.
it?
Correct.
Okay. And 129, I'm taking some type of course, well, obviously, introduction to zoning for whoever, however you pronounce the name. Is that a 1 semester type thing, or is it a seminar? Or?
It's for the 1 course.
Okay. And I understand what it is for 143. The old one was tore up during the snow cyclone.
Yes, it was to replace one.
Okay. And 160. What's this taser project all about? I know what a taser is. Never experienced it. Never want to, but I know what it is.
I believe it's just to get them used to the taser and how to use it.
Okay. Because it's actually one other place, but okay. That's another cell phone. That's another cell phone, which you already answered. And okay. Now this is an awful lot of money. I see a lot of miscellaneous parts. I usually don't ask a lot about it, but $11,000, number 172.
Mm-hmm.
What do they provide?
It's the big side loaders. I mean, it's a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of equipment for
Okay.
keep them running.
And then we got, I'm guessing, some type of parts for Pro Plus 4 250 right underneath it.
It was a plow package.
Okay. Gee, I wonder why we needed a plow package. Okay. And 189. I'm guessing this took place on August the 4th. Repairs under deductible. Some type of
Car accident.
Uh-huh. And would you believe you win tonight?
Nice.
However,
Stump the wizard.
I'm going to be, cranking my game
Yeah,
up.
you will be. Thank you, Don. Anybody else? Anything on the resolutions? Come on up to the microphone and state your name and address just on the resolutions now that appear on this agenda.
No.
Yeah, and you can't
I'm
go
just
off
curious.
that way. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm looking more at the big numbers. If you could just explain them to me so I know what they are. 174. Could you explain what that is?
Well, I don't have the list in front of me, Mike.
Oh.
Yeah, you get it.
We let the wizard do it
It's
tonight
a
'cause he's
general,
on a roll.
general capital fund.
Yeah, that's a bond anticipation notes. I'm sorry, Mike.
We have to make payments for when we get bond for work to get done. That's one of our payments for that.
Okay, so that just covers all work in general
Well,
that's
it's
done.
for whatever specific bond that was for. I don't have that right in front of me, but when we do like a road program, we bond the money, and this is a payment for that.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I guess there was another big number I just was curious about.
If it's really big, it's to the school.
5 million to the school.
101 Mid-Jersey Joint Insurance
Jiff?
Fund.
That's right, Jeff.
274,000.
That's to the GIF, Mike.
Oh, that's our property insurance, our workers' comp insurance. That's our carrier.
For here, for the building?
Insurance.
It's a GIF. So there's a bunch of different towns that pool together, and
Okay.
that's our fee for our property insurance for the cars and buildings, for our workers' compensation insurance.
Okay. And then if we were to get more deer crossing signs on Dale Road, does that come out of this fund here?
We would make them in-house if we couldn't make them in-house.
Then general.
Could I just request a couple more on Deal Road? Because we only have one going this way. I know I've brought it up before.
I think that's one of the things you might want to bring up after, because now we're dealing with.
Yeah.
the
Okay, I just thought if it was
Resolutions
in the budget, it might be a budget issue. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else on resolutions only? Okay, seeing and hearing nobody. Someone please offer the resolutions and minutes for 2018. I'm sorry, December 28th, 2017 and January 11th, 2018, and the resolutions 18014 through, I think, where to, Ben?
18023.
18023. Someone please offer?
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, and except for 18015A, which we're holding, okay? All those others, yes. And then for, vouchers in the amount of $7,076,548.67. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, and for individual action of 18024, authorize the consideration of the following sealed bids. A, HVAC maintenance service, air system maintenance, Kenilworth, New Jersey. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 18025, authorize a professional service contract for the period of January 1 through December 31st, 2018 with the following. A. Mark S. Ruderman and the firm of Ruderman, Horn, Esmeralda, PC, Labor Council. B. Civil Solutions, a division of Adams, Ream, and Hagen Associates, Inc., tax map updates. And C. Clark Canton Hines, or COA Planner. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and 18026, authorize the sale of a 2002 Dodge Stratus to the Township of Ocean Board of Education, I believe, for $1.
Correct.
Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 18027, authorize a tax collector to place a lien on the following properties to abate a public health nuisance. Block 104, Lot 5, in the amount of $778.22. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and 18028, authorize a maintenance contract for the police communications console equipment with Wireless Communications and Electronics, Inc. for the period January 1st through December 31st, 2018 at a cost not to exceed $18,000. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and 18029, authorize the transfer of funds in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-58 and NJSA 40A:4-45.4A. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and at this time, we'd like to open up the meeting to any public comments germane to Ocean Township. Please try to keep your thoughts concise as possible and try not to be redundant or repetitive if you can. There's several people who wish to speak. At this time, come on up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, we'd like to thank you all for... Oh, you're awake. Come on up.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to give someone else. You don't like me going. 2 times in a row. You know that.
Barbara Hudson, Horace Drive. I just wanted to ask Mr. Arbus, is there anything you can tell us about your public, private meeting about the COA litigation and the Stop and Shop litigation and the land purchase?
The Stop and Shop litigation, we are discussing with the plaintiff another adjournment of that case, which is probably what's going to happen where the case, which is what we've done in the past, the case will ultimately be dismissed and then refiled because they're not ready or we're not ready really to proceed to trial.
That's what you said last week. Yeah.
In terms of COA, nothing really. It's regarding the overall resolution with fair share housing in terms of our plan, as well as various aspects of our plan, which I can't go into detail at this point. And the land purchase, I really, I don't think we can discuss that at this point. But
That's not about the golf course house?
No.
No? Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? Good. No. Well,
And I will try and be concise, by the way. And I'm still Don Geiger, and I still live at 11 Grassmere Avenue. I noticed the new improved charging station. Well, you knew. I don't know if it's improved.
2 of them, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So there are 2. What,
Yes.
over by the...
This corner lot and this lot here.
Okay. Do we have either or ballpark number or actual cost for the humongous snow removal that we experienced?
I don't yet.
Okay. And back to one of my favorite things. Now it's taken over from the post office. BJ's off West Park. Still absolutely no
Nothing.
improvement. Now, maybe because a little bit of it is right at the curb line, they might think, well, the county or someone else should
No. We've discussed this. It's
Okay.
an ongoing process,
Well,
Marty.
get a
and
big
Mike.
hammer and hit them over the head.
Yeah, that's one way, I'm sure.
It's
But we took an oath when we all got sworn in that we'd uphold the Constitution of the state of New Jersey and the United States. So I don't think we can do that.
Okay.
Right?
I can.
Can we?
No,
You can,
not really.
absolutely.
Anyway, but we need to nag them. And the rest of the thing is starting to deteriorate. It's more in the center, which is weird, but that's what it is. So you need to look at the whole blooming thing.
Mr. Geiger, we are looking at the whole thing. So
Good.
please.
Thank you. Thank you. But you know what? I hate to break this to you. I'm gonna keep nagging.
You should.
I know.
Why don't you nag the people at BJ's?
I will. Next time I go in there, I'll just say, hey, how about getting with the program here? I don't mind being the squeaky wheel. Speaking of which, how about putting a bug in the ear? I know it's not even the end of January, almost. We still have February, March to get through. But doing a survey of 35, because it needs some work. At least
It's being repaved.
How soon?
Stem to stern, probably start this summer.
Okay.
Signs are up on at the circle already showing that it's getting done.
All
Okay.
3.5 miles of
Yeah,
ocean.
well, I saw some work doing, actually, the jug handle.
Yeah, they're gonna
at
start
Sunset.
doing all you.
Looks like they were doing something for traffic light or something. Okay. That's nice. I'm glad to hear that. And last but not least, first of all, I want to compliment, I know they got complaints, but people need to understand. You have a storm like that, like we had, I want to compliment Public Works on the job they did, because they have to clear the main arteries first, and then the secondary streets. And with the way that wind was blowing, probably 5 minutes after they cleared
Right.
a secondary street, boom, it looked like it hadn't been touched. So they did an awesome job. And I wanted to give a shout out to my good friends, Mary and Nancy, who keep the ship rolling along. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And that's all.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And that adjourns. Oh. Anybody else? Oh.
Jackie Wenzel, 610 Deal Road. The room is pretty empty because most people are going to try and make Monday's meeting.
Oh, then you got an hour. Go ahead.
Yeah. So.
I'm only serious.
Did you want to speak?
Well,
No,
go ahead.
you
One-
can go up first. Okay.
Go ahead, Jack.
Anyway, you had actually invited some people to come today and just said we should sort of ask some questions in person, and they couldn't be here. So.
Yeah, anything, listen, I think really anything pertaining to that corner piece of property, and because of litigation, I need you to be here to ask, well, the attorney's here because he's the one that can really answer these questions on our behalf. As it is litigation, we really have to be careful any more we say about it. So,
Okay, because last time I was here, I had asked about the deed. Well, we spoke about the deed, and then you had told me I could go to Freehold to find it. And that day I thought I was going to go, but Freehold, where my mom had to go, wasn't there. It was a Neptune, so I never got there. But other people said I should just be able to get that from you. Why do I have to go? Like, shouldn't you have a copy of it here in the town hall?
I don't know, should we?
I mean,
Well, actually, we do, and I have looked into that. So, if you want me to give you a whole history of what...
I would, yeah, well, because questions come up. You know, we're trying to find any kind of angle to save the corner. So anything that might help us preserve the land that's there, we'd like to uncover. So anyway, I do have a couple questions, and they've been written down just to help me keep some focus on it. It's come up about the FBI investigation, and that we should just let this go because they've been in and out of every closet and drawer. And so I guess the residents want to know, does the township have a copy of the report based on the FBI investigation? And if so, can we have a copy of it?
We don't get a report from the FBI. The FBI takes our records and then ultimately, in this case, handed down indictments. But there's no report that they provided to us.
So there's no sort of submission of like, we've done this, have this finding, or?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I wasn't the township attorney at the time, but typically the FBI doesn't issue a report like that to the town.
Okay, who was the township
Mr. English
attorney at
was
the
the
time?
township attorney. He's
Oh.
now Superior
Oh,
Court
okay.
Judge. If you want to call him.
If no report, here, what were the findings of the FBI's investigation?
Well, the findings of the FBI investigation were set forth in their indictment of the then mayor regarding the receipt of monies. So, I mean, I think pretty much well known, well reported. Nothing to do with this corner property that we're referring to here, but regarding 3 other properties within the township.
Okay, but it was all handled around the same period of time, is that correct?
Not quite sure of all the different dates. I don't remember when the other projects were approved. But, you know, I do have the information on this project, on the corner project, if you want me to go into that.
Okay.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, I mean, that's the project that concerns us.
All right,
Any
so-
specific question before he goes to that on that corner piece, Jackie? Anything else?
Yeah, I can read through it and we can get back to that. Specifically, which township officials, elected or appointed, were interviewed? Were their statements recorded by video or audio? I guess in terms of the investigation.
I have no idea which, all of the different potential township employees that were interviewed. I can tell you, I was the planning board attorney at the time I was interviewed. I know that the chairman of the planning board was interviewed. I don't really know each and every individual who was interviewed.
Okay. Specifically, which Ocean Township official, elected or appointed, met with the Turner family descendants, Nancy, Elaine, or Carol, were they represented by counsel or an attorney? If so, who was their attorney?
Sitting here right now, I don't know who the Turner family attorney was. I'm sure they were represented by counsel. They had actually formed a limited partnership that owned the property, that was made up of the beneficiaries of the Turner estate, and they own the property. So
when I guess the senior Mr. Turner passed away and it was the daughters inherited the land, they had to then form a corporation.
I don't know what they had to do. So I think it's just easier to go through what.
Yeah, why don't we let Mr. Arbus, because you seem like you have some cross-examination questions
Well,
here.
I
and if
think
they're legal
I was
questions,
trying to
have your
just
attorney come and
keep-
talk to them.
We'll keep some order to them, so I wanted to bring new questions because Mr. Long was upset. I seems to feel I asked the same ones, so I wanted to come with newer, interesting ones. So that's what I'm doing.
All righty.
So anyway, all right, let me finish and then you can get back to it. And I can obviously print this up if you'd like to continue the conversation another time. Was attorney Gerald Zarrow hired as a township employee or as an outside independent contractor? What was the start date and end date of his employment with the township? Who replaced Mr. Zarrow as township attorney? So this is, I guess, the attorney who I had asked you about last time, and no one seemed to know. But I guess his name was Mr. Zarrow, and was.
No, I don't think that no one seemed to know. You just didn't name the attorney.
Okay.
I don't think I think everybody.
No,
knew
I just
the
said there was an attorney. You all looked at each other like,
No, I don't think that's happened.
Okay, I'll go look at the date.
Go ahead.
So, in reference to the current lawsuit of Stop and Shop versus Ocean Township, can a copy of all of the pleadings, correspondence, discovery, and exhibits be made available for public inspection? If no, why not?
Okay, certainly, whatever's in the records of the town here can be can be copied. In lieu thereof, you can go to Freehold, to the court, and get copies. So yeah, copies could be available at whatever the cost.
It's online also, Jackie.
It may be online, I don't know. But the bottom line is, there has been,
It's online about the lawsuit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a complaint, there's an answer, and then there's orders of dismissal, and then a complaint, and an answer, then orders of dismissal. One of the reasons why we're putting it off again is the parties have withheld the expense of discovery to see what was going to happen eventually if this property was going to be resolved some way or the other. Rather than expend all that time, effort, and money, if the issue was going to be resolved, then we wouldn't have to take that step. So that has been the way it's gone to this point. And I guess this will be probably the last effort to do that, and we'll see what happens afterwards.
You can't postpone it anymore after this, basically.
No, I mean, frankly, in theory, you could, as long as the parties agree. I'm not sure. I'm sure maybe at some point the court could say we're not going to let you do it, but up to this point,
So did we postpone it or they postponed it?
we both agree.
We both agree. Okay. It has been indicated by the council that the FBI has found no evidence of wrongdoing by Attorney Zarrow. Is there any written documentation or any evidence any other evidence to support this contention? If yes, can a copy be made available for public review? If no, why not?
I think the lack of prosecution says volumes, no? During that time already?
Yeah, again, there's nothing from the FBI that says this guy didn't do anything, this guy did something, or anything of that nature. They indict someone, they don't indict other people. The indictments related to specific pieces of property didn't relate to this piece of property. But are you done?
Well, those were these questions. I guess on a more simple note. I just want to be clear on it because I wasn't here. There are people here that have more information than I do, which I'm reading on their behalf. What I'm just in a very simple way, is it true that the Turner family, just the Turner family, didn't sell the property to Stop and Shop? There was an in-between. Like, if I was one of the Turner kids, who did I make the sale of the property to?
Okay.
Who would that have been?
He's gonna.
I'm going to answer all your questions. I'm just going to wait till you finish asking.
Oh, okay. All right, so that was, I guess that was it, because that's one part I'm not really clear on. I'll go sit down, or shall I stay here while you
might want
answer?
to, You could stand up. No, you can sit down. You can do whatever you
Okay, I'll sit down, because this way everyone can hear.
Okay, we're obviously talking about the 75 acres that were owned by the Turner estate at the corner of Route 35 and Deal Road. Jackie's mentioned about an article in the Asbury Park Press in 1999. That was when the township obtained a $2 million grant to assist in the purchase of land to add to the Joe Palea Park. The Turner property was owned by Nielka Realty Associates Limited Partnership, which was comprised of the beneficiaries of the Turner estate. In November 30th of 2000, Ocean did a master plan reexamination. They recommended an overlay zone. The purpose was to improve traffic flow by creating a slip road and jug handle that would be located on that subject property. That would give the developer the option of giving up some of his land and in return receiving a site that could be developed 100% commercially. The developer, however, could still develop pursuant to the underlying zone. The Route 35 piece was an office industrial 80 zone, called an OI zone, which stood for Office Industrial Zone. The back piece was an R1T zone, which would fit about 40 homes. That could be done without making any of the roadway improvements. The overlay zone ordinance was passed by the council on January 10th, 2001. Once again, the purpose was to entice the developer into making road improvements on his own property to benefit the traffic flow, and the developer would get the benefit of an increased commercial development on the site. That then led to the subdivision of the property. The subdivision approval was obtained in February of 2001. That was to divide the property into two lots. One lot was 42.19 acres, which was eventually deeded to the township by the Turner Estate entity. That property is now the library, historical museum, human services, and mostly vacant undeveloped land. The other 31 plus acres remained in the office industrial 80 zone and also comprised the overlay zone previously described. Part of the resolution for the subdivision approval required the historic Henderson House to be moved from its existing location to the soon-to-be Ocean property at the expense of the commercial applicant, and that is now obviously the Historical Museum. And you've raised Mr. Zarro and a township attorney conflict issue. That attorney, Mr. Zarro, was part of the Ansel Zarro law firm. Zarro was involved in many real estate ventures and had an interest in an entity known as K. Denzar, and that stood for Kyrie, Denholtz, and Zarro. It appears that Kyrie had about a 60% interest, Denholtz and Zarro 20% each. That entity was never an owner of the property. However, it appears they were a contract purchaser, since they are listed on the above referenced subdivision as the applicants and as contract purchasers. So they never bought the property. They were an interim party in interest, but never were owners. It appears that all of that occurred in the latter part of 2000 and into mid-2001. The actual transfer of land by the Turner Estate, or their entity, to the 31 plus acres was in May of 2001. And that was deeded to Ocean 35 Acquisitions, which was formed in March of 2001 specifically to buy the property. That entity appears to be the real estate company for Stop and Shop or the Stop and Shop Company. 42.19 acres of was transferred to the township, and that property was transferred on July 25th of 2001. There was another 1.2 acres transferred to Ocean for road widening purposes. That was done in May of 2001. So when you add all those numbers together, you'd get to approximately the 75 acres. As noted, all of that occurred in the latter part of 2000 or early to mid 2001. Zarrow and his law firm resigned as township attorneys in either late 1999 or early 2000. Richard English became township attorney, and based upon an article I saw in the Asbury Park Press, that was dated February 3rd of 2000. So sometime prior to that is when Richard English took over as township attorney. From a conflict perspective, Zarrow was no longer the township attorney when all this took place. In fact, it's my recollection that his real estate ventures and his firm giving up so much work in Ocean Township was the reason they gave up the township attorney position. Of course, the suspicion that Zarrow did something with Weldon on this transaction is something we will never know, be able to prove, or resolve in some people's minds. Here's what we do know. Zarrow was not the township attorney when all this happened. As a result of this transaction, the township received 42 plus acres and another 1.2 acres for about half the price that Ocean 35 paid for the remaining 31 acres. We had the historic Henderson House moved to our property at no cost to the township. That site now houses our library, human services, and historical museum and has substantial vacant land. All the rest is pure speculation. And a note about the previous zoning on this property. The commercial portion of this site that fronts on Route 35 was zoned as C2 back in 1987. The current zoning on this site includes community retail, which is any use that is permitted in the C2. So right now, I'm going to explain just one thing about it, but C2 is a commercial zone. There's C1, C2, and it lists all the different commercial uses that can be used on a property.
Is that the professional building?
Jackie, you have to come up when he's done.
Yeah, when I'm done.
Because we can't pick you up on the mic, okay?
The previous office industrial 80 zone, which was the zone at the time just prior to the 2001 creation of the overlay zone, included industrial uses on that site and any use allowed in what was called the L1 zone, which is the light industrial zone. Each and every one of those zones, the C2, the community retail, the office industrial 80 zone, each one would permit a gas station as a conditionally permitted use. Okay? In addition, obviously, if it's a light industrial zone, it permitted industrial uses. That's different than office uses. So we'd have to look at the ordinance to see what all the different industrial buildings that could have been built on the site. So that's pretty much the history of how we got to where we are today and what happened back in 2000, or 1999, 2000, 2001.
Okay. Thank you, Marty, for illuminating us.
Thank you, Marty.
You're welcome.
Well, that's fine, but you know that you have a township attorney involved when all this is coming up, leaves and gets involved in the deal. Did anybody on the council ever talk about this being an improper? I mean, anybody who hears the story thinks it's highly improper.
None of us were on the council in 99, 2000, or 2001. None of us. Not one of us.
And I
Well,
was a
did it,
township
and what,
attorney.
what,
I don't know what the others thought, who were serving at the time. You'll have to
did
ask
anybody
them.
in the township ever refer to this as a, question it as a kind of improper thing
We took
to
the
happen? Do you
word
know,
of...
is that in the history anywhere?
Yes, the FBI was
Not the
here.
FBI, the council.
I don't know if it gets any higher than that, young lady. I mean,
Well,
they
the
came
FBI
in...
was here for Weldon and other
No,
issues.
they were here and they reviewed almost every document in the community development department there relating to every subdivision in town. They went over everything. If they thought there was anything worthy in there, or anything suspicious, or anything nefarious or
Well, anybody
perfidious,
hearing the
they
story-
pulled it out.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's not just, they didn't just arbitrarily and capriciously, let's go for just this.
fine, but common sense tells us if I were on the council at that time
Mm-hmm.
and this happened, I would be drawing attention to it. What is
Ask the council members, Mrs.
an
Hudson. I don't
attorney
know. You'll have to
that
ask them.
Turns around, flips around, and go.
He wasn't the attorney. I
I
think
mean,
Mr.
what kind
Arbich
of
is.
So I can
representation
tell
do we
you,
have?
I don't know what anybody on the council thought or said. Certainly nothing was said publicly that I'm aware of. I know that suspicions like yours and others have been expressed by different people.
It's
But not by
suspicious.
everybody.
It's just, you know, say, hey, wait a minute, this
Hold
is,
it, hold it,
this
hold
is
it,
shocking.
hold it. Let me finish. Okay, so I know there have been those suspicions. However, there is nothing that would prevent someone from leaving as a council member or leaving as the attorney, and then within a year later, being involved in a transaction with the council. Not illegal, no longer a conflict, as far as I know, no longer an ethical violation. So there's nothing that would prohibit that. And frankly, things like that happen in government all the time. We may not like it. We may think there should be a waiting period. In some instances, they've tried to develop that in various different positions. But certainly that was not the case
It's hard
here.
not to imagine this being connected to the attorney who's, you know,
But-
the
right.
deals all around. You want to buy.
I'm
from
as surprised as you are, but
Well, I'm
the
just
evidence
asking.
proves
I'm
that
just
there
asking.
wasn't.
Was anybody in the township?
Nobody was here. How would we know what they were
Well,
thinking?
I'm saying Larkin was here.
Call him
I
up.
heard of Larkin.
I listen.
I'm asking.
That's a syllogism. Larkin was here and I know Larkin.
Historically, was there anybody who
Doesn't
said
mean-
anything about this?
I don't know. You have
okay,
to ask them.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else cross-examination? Come on up to the microphone.
No.
The witnesses over
I
there.
just, I tried to follow everything you said, and certainly I'll listen to it on tape. But
I won't.
so there's an 87. There's zoning from 87, and then it was there. There was a change from 87 to 99 when Weldon was describing it.
No, 87. 92, they did from a 90 re-examination of the master plan. That's when they went to the I-080. That's when that one
Understanding
started.
that zone, it's called the OI/80 zone.
That's when
O
that
stands
started.
for office, which is what
Right.
you referred to.
That's what.
I stands for industrial. So it's an office industrial/80 zone. If you look in our ordinance, it lists what uses could be used in an industrial 80
Restaurant,
zone.
barber shop.
So Weldon just
retail.
failed to mention the gas station when he meant just professional building, because he made it sound like low impact, and a gas
Well,
station
certainly-
wouldn't really be considered low
certainly
impact.
the office zone wouldn't be low impact. I mean, a lot of people complain about having office use and what the impact of that is compared to others. But there was also an industrial component to the zone at that time. Back in 2000, 2001, 1999, that was the zone.
But I guess from 87 to 2000,
No.
there was no change in that.
87 to 92 was C2.
And what does C2 mean?
C2 commercial 2 development. In other words, we didn't have a 3 at the time. Was a revision of C1, which allows all these uses: barbershop, commercial, retail, butcher, food, restaurant, gas station as a conditional use, etc. We have that somewhere. We can get that for
C2
you.
is still in our books.
Just about everything.
It's pretty much almost every commercial use,
Just what he's
most
presenting.
commercial uses you can think of.
Then can you explain to me with the new gas station coming, and I know I've asked this question before, I'm just not clear on the answer. Why do we need to do a land use change to accommodate a gas station now? With
wanna
that
do-
ordinance
we wanna do a
2303.
land use change if we're going to permit this project, because there are many things that are part of this land use change that help us. One of them is creating the widening, giving us land to widen the road. The other one is providing the jug handle. The other one is creating greater buffers than would exist under the current zoning, and greater buffers between the library and the back piece of property. So there are a lot of benefits if we rezone the property. So that's one of the reasons to get all of those benefits in to an ordinance, so that we're protected on that end, while he can still build certain things that maybe he could do either way.
We just don't see them as benefits because we want to preserve that land.
Yeah, but preserving the land would not be something under the existing zoning ordinance or any of the previous zoning ordinances.
But that's what Mayor Weldon had stressed that he wanted.
I don't care what Mayor Weldon
Well,
stressed
I
in
mean-
1999. You all think that he got paid off, which I don't necessarily think. But the bottom line is,
No, I just know he seemed to have expressed the same type of passions we have for preserving the land, and then all of a sudden something dramatically
well,
switched
I
that.
think
So
what's unfortunate in this case is that there's 75 acres that were there, and what the mayor at that time did, and I remember we had this argument before, it was all done at or about the same time.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When you were just going through reading to us your statement or some of the facts that you had there, which was I appreciate that. But it's in the 99 article, he already is speaking about the fact that they have that land. It sounded today.
They obviously did not have that land. I haven't seen the article.
Well,
They did not have that land. What they had was a grant by the, I don't know if it was the county, to assist, or the state, to assist in the purchase of that land. But they did not have the land at that time.
So he was just projecting that's what he'd like to do.
That's what he'd like to do. So
He's
I don't
saying-
know whether he was saying, I'd like to preserve these 42 acres, or he was saying, I'd like to preserve all the
He
property.
said I understood, I'd have to read it again, but I understood that he said we've already acquired with Green Acres funding where the library sits today, and that he was hoping to move the house.
Okay.
That was the
He had
plan.
not acquired the land in 1999. They did not acquire that land until July of 2001. And they could not have acquired it prior to a subdivision approval, and that wasn't obtained until, whatever I said, May of 2001.
Okay.
So there was no acquisition of that land until 2001.
At that time, the
But
Turners owned.
the point I'm making here is that at the time they did that, they took a 75-acre piece. They lopped off 42 plus acres plus another acre or whatever to widen the roadway to we paid for it, but we paid a lot less than the other developer did, to take the township and allow them to preserve that land, and the other 31 acres was developed. That was great. That should have been realized as to how great that
great.
is. But now here we are. Had that been developed at the time, everybody said, "Why? That was a great thing." But then everybody fought about the Stop and Shop. The Stop and Shop got rejected, and now here we are this many years later, and you want to go back as if we never got that 42 acres.
No,
And now
we
want
just-
to start again and say, let's take the balance.
No, it's just at that time, Weldon said he was seeking more
Save
funding to save that, and that's what we're seeking now. We would like to save that, and what our options are. And Mayor Siciliano said that there may be options. He said there were two other options that we could talk about.
No. Well, you said, boy, we're locked into these two scenarios. It's this or that. No, option 3 is to fight the lawsuit if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But we have an attorney that's going to advise us on that. And option 4 is to go ahead and buy the land blindly for we don't know what amount, condemn it and buy it. But that's something we wouldn't do without the permission of the entire township. There'd be a referendum because that's a really major thing. And they'd have to understand the total consequence, not just like we did with a small open space tax. They'd have to thoroughly understand what that would involve, what that would mean to them. But
There's just so little left. We want to save it. There's really no development.
no,
I'm going to go.
I got to tell you something. There's a lot left, more than you think. There's about 100 acres out there still in play that's privately owned that could be developed. I'm looking at a map recently of our township from Google Maps, and you have to see. I know we're losing some trees here, but you have to see the canopy we really do have in town, more than what you alluded to as a urban setting.
No,
it's nothing like
that was from the
at all.
study from Rutgers. I mean,
This couldn't
I was
be any
just
further from. I'm looking at a map. I'm saying if I cut and paste this to the side, it looks like we're 50-50 trees versus development. It's really that
Well,
big.
that was a
I mean, I
pretty
have to
recent
tell you,
study.
We have White's Park. We have
Well, we have Welch Park.
Wells Park. I'm sorry. We have Joe Palea Park, and you live right across the
Well,
street.
we have.
I know,
here's
I
what we have.
appreciate it.
I think what we have 873 acres of town-owned property. Of the 7,300 acres, we own over 12% of the town. That's big for a town like this.
No, but it needs
Not
to
counting
be.
other pieces.
We'd like to keep that whole piece of land, and
No,
so did
listen.
Mayor Weldon want to keep
We
that
all-
piece of
listen,
land.
Jackie,
And at that,
we
we
all
should have
would.
actually never moved the house
Right.
because that house was.
Should never move.
It was positioned. No, we should never moved it because that would have protected the corner. It was
It would have
in
been
the
demolished.
historic.
It
No,
would have been demolished
it was
by the
no. We
next
should have
guy.
protected it as a town because it was in the National Registry. It was right about to
but it
be
wasn't our
in
property,
the
Jackie.
National Registry of Historic
But it's-
Places. But
that property.
but this is the part that's confusing. The Turners had the property. But we were able to buy where the library sits. Why didn't we also buy the corner?
They didn't want to sell
By
it.
the corner because they sold it for twice or two and a half
That
times
was a
the
more
price of
valuable
money
piece.
that they sold it to us for. So we were able to get a loan for part of the money that we paid. Not all of it, I don't believe.
Got
And
all
the
we
bottom
could.
line is that made a lot of sense, taking 41 acres, 41, whatever the number I said, and using that and attaching that both to the park and also creating the library property, etc. While the corner piece that fronted on Route 35 remained to be developed. That's what the intent was.
No, but it was
And
just
as
a
I said to you
historic
last
house
time,
that had a historic landmark, and it was
That's why we
positioned to
saved
be
it.
in the
Whatever-
National Registry of Historic
whatever
Places. We
was
could have
done-
preserved it.
We did. It's
And
not
we
easy.
moved it, but now it can't. It's not
You
no
wanna
longer
save the
qualifies to
land
be in the
because it's
historic
across the
land.
street from
National Registry anymore because of the changes that had to be made for the move. And it's a beautiful, town museum. It's great, but it could have just been there. It was a very special corner, and anyway, so in terms of trying to see the deeds, you'll be able to make copies for me because I'm a little confused still about the Turners owned it, then they became an in-between company, of which Zara was part of that company. Is that what I'm understanding?
No.
All right, say it again. Just say it again.
Turners owned the property.
Right.
It was part of the Turner estate. The Turner beneficiaries, I'm not sure if it was all of them, created an entity that then took the title to the property. That entity then sold the property to the township and sold the property to the developer, Ocean 35.
So they didn't sell directly to Stop and Shop.
Yes, well,
They
it's
did.
still Ocean 35 Acquisitions is the Stop and Shop related company that handled the real estate transaction. They are still the owners of the property as far as I know. So there was no intervening purchaser. The intervening event was the company that was called Denzar,
Right.
which was made up of 3 companies or individuals, I'm not sure, that was a contract purchaser of the property and that made the application for the subdivision. But they never became an owner of the property.
Much like
So that then
Maurice now.
became another part that they bought.
They never bought anything. They went in, they got the subdivision approval.
It's all real clear to you. It's not clear to me. Sorry.
Jackie, with all due respect, you have a house on Deal Road, correct?
Yes.
Do I have the right to tell you not to redevelop it or not to sell it?
No, that's not what I'm just trying to follow the train of the turn. How many different owners were there? This is the part that causes
The only
suspicion.
owner was the Turner Estate or their entity, and then the next owner was what became the Stop and Shop entity, real estate entity they created to buy the land.
So where does this Zarrow person come in?
They come in before the Stop and Shop purchaser came in. They were an entity that had a contract to purchase, but never actually closed.
So this
whether they
idea of a
received-
flipping a sale and flipping is not true?
No, that they didn't flip title because they never owned it. Whether they got paid something after getting the approval, I don't know.
But why would you pay them if they never owned it? What would you be paying them for?
I don't know. But that would certainly be the supposition. That
Kind of like Jackie, let me give an analogy. Right now, Paramount Realty is a contract purchaser.
Mm-hmm.
He can come here and get his approvals. He doesn't have to
Right.
close on a property in his contract probably till he gets his approvals. He can get all the approvals for a nice shopping center there and then say, I'm not going to build, I'm going to sell it.
Right.
Since I have these approvals, it's worth more now. Now it's worth triple the amount. And he can theoretically sell it to somebody else. He's the contract purchaser in that transaction. Go to a closing, himself and his new buyer and the seller, and have the checks made out in a certain way. He gets paid, they get paid, see you later. That's how
Okay.
a contract purchaser
So-
works.
so-
Very common.
But he became a contract purchaser to the Turners, and then the Turners never sold to them,
Yeah, he
and
said,
then they
"Listen,
sold to Stop
I
and
have
Shop.
a backup buyer here with that's going to be more valuable to them if they can build this on
they
it.
might have
But
assigned-
during that process is when the overlay came on. Is that the time? Is that what everyone's suspicious about?
Yeah.
Well, no, the overlay came on in I think
3 people
I
are.
said November of 2000 is when the master plan reexamination
3 people are
created this overlay zone. Again, the purpose of the overlay zone was to benefit the township by improving the road, by creating a slip road, by creating a jug handle, and the incentive to the developer who's giving up a piece of his land. He's going to give up a section of his land to create those road improvements.
Right, that's Stop and Shop.
Stop and Shop. And the benefit to them is then to be able to develop this property, all of the property, not the 42 acres to the town, but all 31 acres as a commercial development, which was again the Stop and Shop shopping center. So that's the benefit they get. The benefit the town gets is an improvement to the road, and something that the applicant would say it's not my responsibility because I'm only one user on the property.
And that improvement to the road and all that negotiation happened under the Zarrow part?
I would guess when he was the contract purchaser, that was part of the discussion.
The
was,
negotiations
we want these
probably,
improvements to be done, and that was agreed upon.
Okay. Is it true you were on the planning board at that time, Chris?
Yeah.
And I was the planning board attorney at that time.
Okay. So some of you were around it, well, maybe not on the council, but
Right.
part of the conversation.
I mean, the planning board, when you're sitting there, you got to understand the volunteers from the town, and they don't come up and say, listen, I'm a contract person, I'm doing something slippery here, I want you guys to approve it. It doesn't happen that way.
But
You're
not
sitting
only
there and they
that-
say, listen, they want to know if this zone change mirrors that one across the street. See the shopping center there? Yeah, can we put one here? Seems reasonable. Boom. It's a yes or no question. It's not like who's buying it, how they doing it, who's making money. That's not the purview of a planning board member. You
But-
never
but-
even get those you don't even get that information.
No, actually,
now-
just to let you know, I mean, it's not like this would have been hidden, because if that company was the contract purchaser and made a subdivision application, they would be listed in the application, and anyone owning an interest of more than 10% would be listed. So it wasn't something that was hidden from the public.
No, it was, everybody agreed to it. All right, we're just trying to find a way. If there's I feel, I kid around with my
You're
husband.
looking
I
for
say, I
that
feel like
aha.
Columbo. Like, I keep feeling like something is not right and that there may be something we can find to
Listen.
rescind the overlay zone and bring it back to what it should
But
be,
it
which
doesn't
is
matter.
nature.
Even if it was still 1987 zoning, this application could theoretically be here, and that's what we're talking about.
The one today, Paramount.
Absolutely. Actually, if it was 1987 zoning, he can go and build, and we wouldn't get any of the buffering Mr. Arbus talked about, which we're at least trying to get something out of this. It's positive.
And not as many road.
Zero road improvement.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, if he developed it, if we wiped out the current zoning, we wiped out the overlay zone. You can pick that up while I wait.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Wipe out the overlay zone and put it back to the OI 80 zone, okay? They might not be able to build what they're building now, but they would be able to build light industrial uses, they'd be able to build a gas station, they'd be able to build offices, and they wouldn't have to make any road improvement.
But there were only 40 houses on the plan before.
That was
70
for the back acreage.
Right.
So there's only
70 is a
40
big
acres.
difference.
There is a big difference, but there's pluses and minuses.
It's a trade-off.
We're getting huge buffers. We're getting roadway improvements that are beneficial to the town.
But the
that are
buffers don't
reducing-
look like it's the natural trees, what we have on the other side. It looks like more landscape.
Did you see the trees that are on the site now?
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh my gosh! I think anything they
No, there's
do
a lot
will
of
be
beautiful trees there. You can
There's
cut
5.
around some brush.
There's about 7, but be that as it may, I'm telling you, I live here all my life. I ride by, there's vines wrapped around these horrible-looking dead trees, most of them, and they're under 9 inches, which means you won't even get a
It's
contribution
pretty
to
in
the
there
shade
in
tree.
the summer. We should take a walk through.
I offered that. You didn't want to show up. But anyway,
Last minute.
the other part of it is, I think what you're losing in this, let's just say rezone, it goes back to whatever you want it to be.
We just want to keep it natural.
It's not going to stop. Not that it would happen. I want to threaten you with this, but it's still out there. It's not going to stop a affordable housing or developer to come in and say, hey, I don't care what it's zoned, that acreage, I can get this amount of units on it. And they can force a builder's remedy lawsuit and bring an application for that in too. That's still out there.
At least people will be living there. You know,
Excuse me?
we're going to be removing deer. We're going to be just damaging all this nature to
Oh,
put
it's
up just
hard. Yes.
commercial,
No, I
put
get
up
it.
parking lot.
I get it.
Otherwise, people that need homes, affordable housing, would be living there.
I
I would
understand.
feel better about that.
Okay.
Jackie, it keeps coming back to you want the land preserved, you want the town to pay for it. So that's the only issue.
And
from
well,
your
we all pay for it in our taxes,
Right.
actually. And at least we have a little bit of a say in it when
But
we look
the
at these
bottom line is
expenses.
You live across the street, most other people don't.
It's not about that, honestly. I'm telling you, and this is going to
Finding
sound.
this hard when
No.
Toll Brothers came in and took all those.
I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it till it was way too late. Honestly, I've walked that land, and I told someone recently, it's just like I feel very connected to that land. Maybe it's some kind of weird like Indian spirit, but I've walked that land, and I know I will do whatever I can to try and save it. I may not be successful, but at least I'll know to the end I tried.
Great. Thank you. Hold on 1 second. This might help. A little better. Okay. I feel better. Come on up. State your name and address for the record.
Jerry Cohen, 1 Weinberg Court. And while I do have an interest in the corner property, not a financial interest in this development, I'm not going to waste your time talking about that. What's the status of the transfer of Joe Patesh Park?
There's no transfer. We did a, I don't know, Mike, if you were here for that, where we're having them able to take over as
Like a custodian.
yeah, kind of more of a management custodial. It's in the hands of a certain group over here. I think Megan David's group has it, and they're able to do whatever they want to do with it. I think we've done that resolution already. I believe we did it last year, right?
I wasn't aware of that, but that particular parcel is.
We did the resolution.
That particular parcel includes all of Poplar Brook.
Yes.
So what? Do they have management over the entire parcel or just a portion of it?
Just a portion, just the playground area, the park.
Okay, thank you.
In other words, make improvements and want to do, which is fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, Jerry. Thank you. Anybody else? Your 2 cents?
1.5.
Come on up.
And I'm still a young guy, and I still live at 11-8.
Okay.
One comment to Jackie. On the FBI, you could try Freedom of Information Act to get more information. Whether that'll fly or not, I don't know. On that thing, let's look at rationally at that site.
For once.
For once.
Okay. No.
Let's not get, yes, emotionally, we would like to save the whole blooming thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, first of all, we'd be losing ratables, which we need to maintain the government services that we expect and demand. So do we want to say, okay, we'll do with less government services and or pay more taxes in order to save that? You turn around and present it that way, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, it would have to go to a referendum. How many people say, yeah, I don't buy into that? The only thing I'm not comfortable with, and I would like to see us maybe put, if some way, more stringent regulations on, is the gas station. Because, tank leakage, all that stuff involved, and I know the current gas stations maybe have double line, I think now.
Yeah.
Maybe insist as part of that deal. No, you make a deal, your gas station, you have to triple line it or something. I don't know.
But that's DEP's going to still give them that approval. In other words, and I've said it before, just because that plan's before us doesn't mean that plan's going to be approved.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because they have to go through these other agencies to get those approvals. Even the stormwater management, believe it or not, on a site that big, they'd have to improve it by 80% of what the flow is now on a pervious surface. So there's a lot to do there, and that plan has to be approved by a DEP, Don. So,
but of the whole thing,
we follow those guidelines.
Of the whole thing, that's the one I'm least comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one that a lot of people are concerned about as well. Right.
So with that said, but I think,
myself too.
You lose sight of reality, and you let emotion govern you, and it winds up being a lose-lose. Let's look for a win-win,
right?
Which may not mean saving it, or saving it the way we want it to be saved.
Lemonades out of lemons. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else? I want to thank you all for coming tonight. Very lively discussion. Somebody please make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosino.
Yes, thank you all for coming. Meeting adjourned, and we air twice a day in Channel 77 if you have Cablevision, and 22 if you have Fios. Thank you all again for coming.